Okay, so yeah, you return to town to lick your wounds a little bit and process what you've learned and what the monstrosity you've encountered. Because also maybe to add a little bit more context, Spooky Wisp. Um, so you weren't within in the chamber that Spooky Wisp was in, and it had asked you to like turn towards the doors that would lead to the doll, and then you heard footsteps and something small running off through the open door into the outside, probably disappearing into the swamps. So there's that sense of maybe you've been tricked if you haven't already suspected as much by
Tricked
something or someone.
by Spooky Wisp or by something else?
Well, because if Spooky Wisp really was this like, incorporeal, spooky light emanation, why would you have heard the footsteps? And also, the spyglass was gone, um, which you would think an entirely incorporeal creature would have a hard time handling. So there's that. Um, there's also the fact that this enormous, bloated, maggot-like creature with a mouth full of teeth, and that just looked like it was filled, to almost to the extent that it would almost burst, um, with blood and gore. Uh, it was strapped onto a machine of some sort in that basement under that arcane occult scholar uh, workshop. So lots of things to think about. There are also plenty of more doors that you're aware of. Um, you found the strange chamber with a goblin body in a giant pickle jar, essentially. Its body preserved in some alcoholic fluid. And there's at least one more staircase that you're aware of in the keep proper that would lead to a lower level as well. So indeed, what the midflits have already told you, the keep runs much deeper than what most people would think. At least one level, if not even more. And what went on in those levels? Well, apparently nothing good. Back in town, I assume you would regroup, and Birke is gonna go off, maybe gonna take the doll to what's her name, Vandy Vanderdash, to talk about it, or to her other friend at Odd Stories, Morlibint, um, the arcane scholar, to find out more about what would animate a doll like that, and if what that strange gemstone in its back might mean, if it's part of the construction or if it's just ornamental.
Rin should be able to take it from her hands. Take it off her hands. I mean, since she's a collector of strange and unusual things.
She might, but I don't think that Birke is looking to get rid of it. I think she was fascinated by it. She'd probably want to learn more about it. But yeah, eventually, that's what Soma would recommend to Birke is, yeah, if you want to get rid of this, and you probably should, um, then that's the place to do it. All right, so regrouping in town, you link up with Lucca to catch him up on what has transpired, and what would be Lucca's response to that, hearing that story.
Um. Well, he's probably a little surprised to hear about the what's going on deeper in it. Does it sound like someone is experimenting? It sounds like did it look like it was like recent experimentation or long ago?
Oh no, it doesn't seem to be recent at all. At least not
Okay.
in observable past. Like, doesn't seem like it was done at like the last week.
Carnus, maybe your mic is a little too far away.
Maybe. Well, I'm just also speaking silently.
Ah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it was last week or even last month. It seems to be abandoned for quite a while.
Okay. Well, maybe that's less immediately concerning. It's
At least
probably intriguing to Lucca, who
at least to my eyes, yeah.
curious what was going on down there now, especially with all of these supposed ghosts and spirits and undead that are wandering around in there. It's definitely got his interest up about what is the source of all of this undeath and this experimentation and these supposed evil spirits and presences there that you keep encountering. So he says, "Oh well, I'm sorry, I was otherwise preoccupied earlier, but I do think I would like to come and see some of this for myself."
Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
are there any, based on what you saw in there, are there any special preparations that we should make or take?
Hmm. I think I can suggest a few things. Primarily, that will have to be a set of hammers, iron spikes, and a whole lot of nails to nail those doors shut, so those things will never get away.
Iron spikes and nails.
I doubt that supernatural creatures might eternally be bound by a couple of boards and nails. And
If that thing needs blood.
I certainly am intrigued by this as well. I would be happy to accompany you back there, Lucca. But I think we should take a little bit of a break. It looks like Birke could really take a bit of a rest, and all of us maybe are still a little bit shaken from what we've witnessed.
Has she gone and thrown herself headlong into danger again?
As she does.
Sort of, yes.
Well, that is it's always a risk with her, I suppose. You really should consider alternatives, Burke. You keep up with that, and you won't live for very long.
It didn't.
But yes, well, if you all need some time to recover, then very well. Perhaps I can accompany you somewhere.
She thinks, "Oh, that's very kind of you, but that won't be necessary. I'm just gonna go see my friend at the Dawnflower Library, Vandy. I have something to show her, and maybe we'll see Morlund later too.
Oh,
That's okay. We'll just
yes.
we can meet up in the morning."
Perhaps you could return this one to the library for me on your way. I'm quite finished with it. And he'll hand her a book.
Oh, of
The
course.
little library card in the front, little
Oh.
stamp on it.
Great. Are you a reader?
Oh, well, yes. I do. I think. Well, I established with Ale that sometimes Burke brings books for
okay.
Lucca because he doesn't like going there. But sometimes she'll get books out of the library for him.
Okay, cool. I forgot about that. I hadn't caught that. So yeah, so obviously she'll know about it, and she'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Do you want me to bring you anything while I'm there?
No. I suppose perhaps if we investigate this Gauntlight further, there might be cause for further reading. But for the time being, I think I ought to lay my own eyes upon it.
All right. I guess I'll see you all in the morning, she says, and then she walks off and wincing just a little bit. with with each step. So you have pretty much the afternoon off right now. Is there anything you want to do with it, or do you want to do some shopping?
I have no money.
None of us do, I think.
You want to do some shoplifting?
Oh, I have a gold piece.
Nice. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
I do have one gold piece. One gold piece.
I mean, in new economy of some of this area, it's actually a lot of money.
It sure is. All right, then I guess there's no shopping in the afternoon. Anything else you want to do? Any socializing, checking on anything?
Potentially, I could sell this scroll of restore senses because.
Or maybe we hold on to it because
Or-
that sounds
Or we could hold on to it, yes.
like it could come in useful.
It doesn't look like I grabbed any valuables this time.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just gonna take it easy in the afternoon, and where are your quarters actually? Where are you staying for the night?
I believe Souma usually takes the quarters in that in the attic of the what's the
Crook's Nook?
yes.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
well, I
Yeah,
think
sure,
the attic is
sure.
occupied. Well, one of the rooms there.
Sure. Ottardo?
Ottardo probably has a bed like in the back of wherever his office is.
Okay. Oh, his own like personal. And have we established where Lucca is staying?
Lucca has a hut not far outside of town with he's a charcoal burner by trade, so there's probably always a like a smoldering pile not far from it.
Right.
So
Yeah. So we're probably like really not far outside, kind of like within sight of the stone ring pond, somewhere on the edge of the forest. So you have
yeah,
access
not
to wood.
just far enough that that he's kind of out of the way a little bit, but
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, then yeah, you after a somewhat lazy afternoon, you withdraw to your various quarters and settle in for a restful night. Or is it? Because you have a hard time getting rest. It's like you have no trouble falling asleep since you're pretty tired, even though it was only a half day of work, but it is getting pretty intense. Your trips to Gauntlight keep become more and more challenging every time. And as your sleep, however, is little restful, and you roll over time and time again. You wake up a couple of times sweating, and every time you wake up, you like get up and walk to a window that faces northwest towards the godlight itself. You might not be able to see it from where you are, at least not directly, but somehow you feel your gaze drawn to it. It's dark at night. There's nothing to see really the first few times you wake up, but still, somehow, some way you feel restless. And then it happens. Once again, you wake up. Once again, you feel like you're in cold sweat. Once again you walk, either step outside your hut to get a clear view of the northwestern sky, or you look through a window towards where Gauntlight Keep is. And this time, there is a light in the night that glows with a sickly pale blue illumination. And at first it's just very subtle, and your first instinct is like, oh, it's probably already dawn, but then you realize like it's the wrong direction, and the light doesn't look like sunlight. It has a very much unnatural quality to it, and then it starts shuddering, and all of a sudden it blazes. It just becomes really bright. And not only that, but you see a beam arcing south, falling not directly on Otari, but onto the sprawling graveyard that's located at the western edge. So let me try this, if this works here. There we go. Whoosh. And that's what you see, and it remains there for a little while, fixed on it.
Could anyone grab a screenshot? I think it's not working for me.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Maybe you just need to zoom out. So what do you do?
Curse the fates, I guess.
There's I imagine Lucca is honestly Lucca's probably closest to the Gauntlight if his hut is out of town, and he's probably like following the beam, his mask with this faint bluish glow on it from the beam shooting right past his hut overhead, and the mask just kind of turns to trace it, sees it towards the graveyard, and it pauses there for a second, and there's just this like long rattling sigh that comes out of the mask, and then he begins to move quickly, gathers up his cloak and dons it, and snatches up that awful wand of heal because he thinks he might need it, and he starts making his way towards the graveyard. He has a sneaking suspicion that he won't be alone when he gets there.
What about the others?
We were told something about Gauntlight shooting ghosts.
Yep.
Does this look like it might be
It's
what
the
is happening?
It's the Gauntlight shooting a ghostly light at the cemetery. Would be a reasonable conclusion that it's time.
Well, I guess Ottardo is going to reach for his armor and start strapping up.
How long is that gonna take? Like minutes or whatever?
5 minutes.
Okay. All right. Soma.
Well, Souma will, for a brief moment, will try to persuade herself that, come on, the church people can handle this, right? I mean, they're full of priests, and no, I will have to go to see it myself, and she will try to go to dress up as well. Grab her magical sword, she grab her magical components, and grab her magical fluid as well. And then walk out into the night.
All right. Okay, so in town, as you step out of your homes within the town proper, you see people in the streets. Like you hear gasps and screams and just shouts and cries of worry. and somebody yells like, "Oh, the library!" And you see people rushing towards the Dawnflower Library. You see guards rushing north towards the what's it called? Towards the Rose Guard Road. So probably trying to make their way quickly to Pharasma's Walk and then to the cemetery. And as you make your way there, you're joined by Artur, who's also quickly running up with you, and he says, "Well, I guess if we don't go to the Gauntlight is coming to us." He's already pretty out of breath as he joins you. And you rush towards the cemetery. As you get there, Lucca is already there, has already been there. And Lucca, assuming that you're not one to just charge into a situation, yeah. So you arrived at the cemetery before everyone else. That sickly blue light falling onto a large swath of the cemetery, and at first nothing happens, but then you see like the ground in some places, the soil starts to buckle, and then there's like chunks of soil that fly up. The grass breaks in various places. Sinkholes are starting to form, and this plays out over, maybe 10-15 minutes because it takes quite some time. And as you see your friends and some of the guards come rushing down Pharasma's Walk, like you turn to see them come rushing towards you, and you turn back to the graveyard, and you see the first like fists punching through the soil, and there's like hardly any flesh left on the skeletal hands that poke through. You hear the grinding of stone on stone as some of the crypt and mausoleum doors are slowly, very slowly inching open, or you hear like slamming against it. And then by the time you're joined by the others, one of the mausoleum doors just kind of like falls out, and 3 or 4 skeletons and zombies, obviously, come lumbering out, and they all shamble onto the cemetery, and you're kind of getting ready for them to charge you or something like that. But that's not what they're doing. It's even more horrifying. All of the undead that peel themselves out of their graves, breaking out of the mausoleums, breaking through the earth and digging themselves up. They push themselves up, and then as if they are kind of, as if they had like almost like a hive mind, all just have one single intention. They all immediately turn towards the southeast and then start running. The skeletons pretty quickly charging the even the zombies, quickly moving, making their way south, and then just like lemmings, just dropping over the edge of the cliff, hurling their bodies onto the Dawnflower Library below. Let me see if I can have a picture for you that shows this. This should work.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just raining undead onto the library, and that happens, for a couple of minutes as you're gathering outside the cemetery, trying to get your bearings.
Should we stop them?
If Lucca is there kind of early, he would.
Yep.
If there's an opportunity, I know he said he's not the kind to rush in first, but this is exactly the kind of situation he would rush into.
Yeah.
If he sees like maybe before they all start hive minding their way over, as the first couple ones are like emerging from their tombs or their crypts, he might step forward and start to speak in this like rasping, creaking language, trying to talk to one of the nearest ones in Necrol and basically ask, "My friend, what is it that has disturbed you? What has woken you from your peace?" As he is trying to use... can I post this? How do I post this? Actually, I have a feat. Basically, I have a feat. I'm trying to. How do I make this post to chat?
Mm,
Oh, there we go.
okay. Okay, then yeah, try to make an impression. So try to do your diplomacy.
Oh, it won't let me because I don't. I don't have a token selected. I'll just roll it off my sheet.
Okay.
Uh, mm,
Yeah. So you try to reach out to them, try to talk to them. You walk a couple of steps onto the graveyard, and you call out in what would be their language, but it's kind of like it gives you the impression of like almost like a mass panic sort of situation. Obviously, the undead can't feel fear, so that's not really there. But it's like they just seem like they're not even responding to you. They're not even really acknowledging their presence. It's just have one single thing on their mind as soon as they can get their feet under them, so under themselves on solid ground. They just turn and start running, and it's confusing to you, maybe a little worrisome, but yeah, you try multiple times and you just can't get any one of them to listen to you. And then your friends show up at the gates. And yeah.
So two quick questions related
Yeah.
to that. Does Lucca get the impression that they are attacking the library, or the impression that they're fleeing the light?
They're not fleeing the light. They're not fleeing the light. That's definitely the light is shining onto the entire area here. Anywhere where there's undead breaking free, the light is falling on them, and the light also extends to the edge of the cliff. So it's not like they're fleeing the light. It's and
Okay.
it's just that it's not even like they're not even showing any sort of aggression towards the library or something. It's just that they hurl themselves over that cliff.
They're just compelled.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no regard for their own, um, well, physical integrity. If you want to call that.
Second question: does Lucca feel any kind of way about the
That's
light?
why I thought that you might feel worrisome at this point, but
Yeah.
thankful, no, you don't.
Okay.
All right. So as the others get to the gates of the cemetery, one of the doors like leaning open, where Lucca pushed through. You see Lucca standing on the on the graveyard, calling out in this raspy language to all the undead that are just rushing past him.
Oh my god, Lucca, what have you done?
Yeah. You call. What have you done? What's that?
No, it's just that Lucca turns to them and he's like, "Oh, it is not me. It is the light. The light is doing something to them, forcing them to flee." So,
And then the light stops. And yeah, most of the undead that have dug themselves out of the ground or broken out of their mausoleums have already jumped off the cliff. There's only like a couple of them remaining, but as the light stops, all of them kind of like stop in their tracks, and it's almost like they look up in what almost looks like confusion, and then they look at each other, they look at their claws, they look at the ground, and they turn around, their gaze scanning their surroundings until their eyes fall on the lot of you. And all of a sudden, they seem to have a new purpose as the zombies go and the skeletons start clicking their way towards you. So here we are. The guards are visibly just scared out of their mind. Like they're just like, oh, what is this? So they don't seem like they might lead the charge here. let me add everyone to the encounter. We have the guards in the encounter. We have the 3 of you. There's Lucca. And then we have a bunch of undead that we want to add as well. Did I get everyone? I don't think so. Oh, maybe I did. Okay. Then you can roll your initiative if you like. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. There's number 8. Sorry, I've lost a zombie. You know how it is.
You can hit Alt to highlight everything if you're trying to find some token.
Oh, very nice. Good call. So we have this one, we have that one. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. So then we can begin the encounter. Whoops, that was loud. And then we can roll the NPCs.
That is a lot of rolls.
Yep. Okay. And we will start the encounter. Right. So the guards, like I said, they're just scared out of their minds. So don't expect any initiative from them. It's Ottardo's turn, and he looks around and he notices the guards being so scared, and he says, "Come on, get a grip. It's just a couple of zombies and skeletons. They're certainly versed in the world." And he's trying to what would you call that? Not necessarily. It's not coerce. It's the other way of using diplomacy.
Moralize. The
Yeah.
opposite of moralize.
Exactly. I'm just gonna have him roll a diplomacy check. He's not very good at it. He's not really a people person, so yeah, they just kind of like don't even look at him. They just stare at the undead that are making their way towards the group. So he just sighs and goes, useless. And then he moves into the graveyard. It was 10, 12, 20. So he has 5 left, is that right? Where's my speed? Where's the speed on the sheets?
In the main page.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a little hard to find.
Yeah, got it. So that was 1, and then he takes an action to load his crossbow because he can't run with a loaded crossbow, so that's what he does. And then it's Lucca's turn.
Lucca is also going to try to use diplomacy as he looks to this nearest skeleton that's come out, and he's going to rasp out once more necrol. He says, "The light's gone now. There's no need for this. Go back to sleep, please." Which, to what effect, I don't know, but he's gonna try.
Okay. Give me a diplomacy check. $23. Okay, let me check its will DC. Okay, I'm gonna say that it is taken aback by being addressed by you in its own language, by somebody who's like obviously traveled in a group of living people. and it pauses for a second. Like you can see it just being like, what's going on? But we'll wait. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. So that was one action, I think.
Yeah. And Lucca is probably he's probably approaching a little closer to it as he's talking, and he's trying to like soothe it, like be like go back to your slumber.
Oh, sorry. You know what? Actually, it doesn't really work that way because you can use it to make an impression, and making an impression takes a minute.
Is a minute, yeah.
So before you could do that because there was no encounter really, but I think it's not.
Yeah,
not really.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is that's just he's just trying to talk to this thing. Like that's why I said to what effect I don't know, but he's trying to calm. It also doesn't necessarily work in the presence of other living beings, so. So yeah, so he's saying that as he's approaching the thing, like back to sleep with you. There's no need for violence, kind of thing. But I think that's it. I think he probably only uses 2 actions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see where.
Highlights red in the counter tracker.
What's that?
Never mind. I mean, I just look at the tracker. It highlights the enemy turns now.
Okay. So we'll have the skeleton next. The one down there, which has a speed of 25. That's going to move 5, 10, and then 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 55, and all the way to 75 feet. So you just kind of see it come hustling up the graveyard path. This one down here goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this one too closes in, comes all the way up really close towards Lucca with like its outstretched claws. They're not wielding scimitars like they are in their artwork. They just have their bare claws. And we have another skeleton, the one right next to you, which is going to take an action to move closer to you. And then it's going to target you and use an action to claw at you. Ooh, and I'm starting off with a crit for 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And followed up by another hit. For 5 points.
And Lucca goes down.
So, okay, so that's interesting. So Lucca kind of like still in that conversation, you know, because it all just kind of happens in flow. So he's still like in mental, just trying to appease them, to talk some sense into them. And the skeletons just jump him and just claw him immediately. Just it looks like they're about to rip him to pieces if there's not somebody jumping in to help. The guard is just like, just sends it even further down its fear spiral. Then we have another skeleton down here, which is going to move up here. Another guard, too fried to do anything. A zombie down here with a speed of 25 and its normal slowed condition. It's going to move all the way up here. Another scared guard and another zombie moves past Lucca, not interested in him for whatever reason, and just goes flash. Souma, your turn.
Oh well. I'm too zoomed out, I can't see anything. 40. And unfortunately too far, so as what Okay. Soma draws her new sword. Soma is yelling, "Lucca, no! What have you done?" Then, well, in this case, she yells at the skeletons. What they done to Lucca? Not. Oh, you understand. Never mind. And then she tries to run forward, which my speed. Something this.
That was 2 actions?
Yes, 1 action to draw, 2 actions to run.
Okay. Okay, we have another skeleton from coming up from across the graveyard, making its way over towards you. And we have another zombie somewhere. Where's that guy? There it is. Also trying to make its way towards you. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield and he is going to stride next to the closest zombie and attempt to bash it.
Right, bash it. That's a hit. That's some damage. And you are doing bludgeoning damage. So yeah, your Morning Star hits the rotting flesh hard and it just goes as it it's like beating dead meat. But it certainly does some damage. Third action?
That was 3. Raise a shield, strike.
Okay, the guards are still too scared. Archer has loaded his crossbow, has a good spot here to target this zombie. Thinks about devising a stratagem. So I'm just gonna roll an unarmed strike so I don't always have to give myself bolts back. Okay, so that's a hit in this case. So he actually shoots, which is with his second option, second attack. Or his second action, I should say, and then does the damage, which is 7 points of piercing damage. There we go. And his third action is reloading. Then we have Lucca. Right, Lucca is actually still in the right position because that's when he went down. Is that right? Yeah.
He should have technically dropped to 20.
Oh, okay. So here.
Or just before the one that
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so in that case, then we have this skeleton that can move first. So it's going to move 15, 20, 30, 35, 40. So it's going to move all the way over here until it gets close enough to try to attack Soma. And it misses. Then it's Lucca's turn to stable one. How does it work again? I know I should know by now.
he makes a flat check
Right.
against the DC, which is 10 plus the dying level.
Right.
So DC 11 flat check.
Let's see. Nice.
I think
Pick up, I guess.
makes him conscious. Does that one make him conscious?
When you mean?
Dying. There's something that happens with a natural 20.
I think it just counts as 2 successes, so you would gain or you would lower dying by 2.
All right. Well, then he's just extra stable.
Extra stable. Okay. So then we have this skeleton down here that just steps over Lucca with one action. Second action is then targeting Souma with a strike. Going once, hitting for 6 points. Going a second time with its offhand, critically missing. Right, that's that one. Then we have this one down here, which is moving up to target Soma as well. And it attacks once, missing, twice, crit missing. And then we have the guard still, they're just frozen. Just their their faces are masks of terror as they watch you get torn to pieces by these skeletons. We have another one down here, which is going to move up over there and try to attack Soma. And it's 5.
Ottardo is going to intervene here and use his reaction,
Nice.
which is going to grant resistance 3 to Soma against this attack.
Good. So Soma only takes 2 points.
And he will take an attack of opportunity against the. Well, not.
Oh,
He's going to take an attack against the skeleton that did the attack. And crit miss.
Oh. You want to roll a hero point on that?
Nope.
We have another zombie down here, which is going to make its way 1, 2, 3. Well, it's going to try to take the next target. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has to move all the way around the group, which means it doesn't have an action left to attack one of the guards. Still too frightened, but you can see like some resolve starting to take shape on their faces, like they are starting to remember their duties here. Then we have this zombie down here, which is locked into combat with Ottardo, so it's going to try to attack Ottardo with a fist once. That's a hit, and it does damage, 4 points, and then it takes an action to grab you. So you are now grabbed. And that's its turn because it only has 2 actions. So it's just, it's striking out at you and then just throwing itself at you, leaning on you with all of its weight, and it's starting to try to going in for a bite, but doesn't have an action left to actually do it this turn. Soma.
Okay. Well, Soma will start darting some. Well, her eyes will dart after being surrounded by the skeletons, and will start swinging her rapier. I will first try to target this one who attacked me first, I believe.
Okay.
And she will stab it.
Nice. 18 with a piercing weapon. Okay, so even though it's a wonderful strike, like right through the heart, but that just doesn't do much because of there's just bones and empty rib cage. So your piercing weapon doesn't have the full effect, but it certainly has quite a lot. So let's see, did it do the math correctly? That taking only 4 damage? No.
It's all hit points it has.
Yeah, if it only has 4 hit points.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so it's still enough to just shatter the creature's rib cage and send it toppling to the floor.
I would imagine it could have looked like she makes a stabbing motion and with the basket guard just shatters the entire skull or something like.
Yeah, nice.
Then, well, since that seems to be working really fine, she will turn around and stab this one Well,
Oh, yeah. That's a hit.
no, not as.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to work that fine. I mean, the first one just had so much thrust behind it, but you realize that your piercing is not having the greatest effect here.
Yeah,
So
and
that would action 2.
and then I guess I will have to just try and grab Lucca and so I could drag him away from the for our next turn.
How does dragging work?
I don't remember.
I still haven't figured it out myself.
I don't think there is any sort of rule right now, but there will be in the remaster.
Oh, nice. No, although there's here dragging. Pathfinder 2E.
There's rules for dragging objects.
You might drag an object or creature. If you're dragging something, treat its bulk as half. Typically, you can drag one thing at a time. Must use both hands to do so. So you would have to clear, you drop your weapon first of all. And you drag slowly, 50 feet per minute. Well, 50 feet per minute, so that's 5 feet per turn, right?
Well,
Yeah, it's basically you drag one square around, which is really bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't take anything special on top of that. So you just need to have both hands free, and then it's 5 feet per turn.
For 3 actions.
For yeah, I guess 3 actions. Yeah.
Can
well,
I make an argument for Lucca being carryable? He is very, very light.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the inventory is very light as well.
sure. Like, what would be your total bulk? Can you basically say?
I mean, so his item bulk of everything he has on him is only 2, and then I think normally for a medium-sized creature, it's I think
6.
5 bulk.
It would be 6.
mm-hmm.
6.
Yeah.
But he does weigh only like 22 pounds. So
Right. So I'm gonna say, there's an item between 5 and 10 is 1 bulk. So I'm gonna say you're just basically like a small creature, 3 bulk. So 3 bulk plus your equipment, which was what, 2?
2. So he's a total of 5 bulk. I don't
Uh,
know if that's manageable or not, but
So
Well,
how does that? What does that seem?
well, I will be encumbered at 6, and I'm currently carrying almost 5, so I will be able to well, with an effort, I will be able to carry him quite a while.
But I would
Well,
say
enough.
that it's definitely, you have to put your weapon away. You have to have both hands free,
Okay.
and to pick him up, it's an action that what's it called, a manipulate action or something that would trigger an attack of opportunity if they had some, just for future reference. And then you can, and then you're just carrying extra bulk around, but you can't really do any other actions than carry him.
Well, that was my final action anyway, so I will basically just grab Lucca by his robes and saying, "My mate, you seem mighty dry and bony, huh?" And prepare to run away. That's for my next turn.
So you drop. Oh, I see. You dropped your rapier and you grabbed Lucca. Got it. Okay. Skeleton's turn. Which one is it?
oh, grab
I
it.
know. Okay, so well, now that you're carrying Lucca, I would say that you're sharing a square, which means that this skeleton here can go all the way up to you and target you as you're trying to get away with Lucca.
Use my friend as a body shield.
Yes, successfully so, and successfully so, and it misses. We have someone down here who's gonna make its way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, makes its way over here, but that takes 2 actions to get there. Ottardo, your turn.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield again. And he is going to try to smash the zombie that's grabbing him.
All right. That's a hit. That's 10 points of bludgeoning, which is enough to smash its skull, and its brain is just flying all over the place.
And then he is going to turn around and target the skeleton that's within reach. And miss.
Okay. All right. One of the guards. Now, if you were, oh, that was the wrong one. If you were standing close to him, you could hear him say something like, "No, no, I can't just let them all die." And he goes in with a cry of courage and panic somewhere in there, his voice cracking as she, I should say, charges in. And takes a swing at the skeleton here with her club. Boom, hits. Boom, 8. And kills it. Just comes in with her club, swinging it wildly, like not really even much in control of her weapon, but it's enough of just frustration and momentum, and the bludgeoning weapon is just the right thing to crack the brittle bones of these creatures. So that was the guard, and so Otto just says, "Finally," and there's a lot going on around Souma and Lucca. I'm not sure if he's gonna risk that, so I think the first thing he does is he devises a stratagem. I'm just gonna roll a regular 20, a regular d20, I guess. Nope. Am I not? $11 would be my base roll, so that would be 18. That's good enough for him. So he rolls. It's an 18 for him, which is a hit. And then he rolls for damage. 1d8 plus 1d6, 3. Seriously? Wow. Okay. And that's 3 damage for the zombie shambler. And the third action is reloading his crossbow. Then we have the skeleton down here, which is going to attack Souma. Once. Hitting. 4 points.
Ottardo is going to intervene again.
Okay.
He is going to grant Souma resistance 3. And at the same time, he will step and strike the skeleton that just struck her.
Nice.
And miss.
Man. Do you just roll poorly all the time? I guess so. You have a pretty good modifier. So Lucca's still stable. The skeleton down here is going to try to attack Souma. Once. Misses. Twice. Misses. 3 times. Hit. The last one, 6.
It's getting hairy.
Okay, it sure is, but thankfully the guards are now joining the fray here. They're finally moving in, also seeing their comrade in arms having some success, so they move in towards the skeletons, and he swings his club, hits 10 points of damage, and striking down that skeleton. The next town guard, which one is it? Here. 1 to 2. That's 1 action. 2 actions to get here is going to attack the zombie down here. Using its club, which obviously is not the best weapon, and he also misses. the zombie shambler. Which one do we have? Oh wait, I was attacking Soma for some reason. So I should say, what was it? 11 against the zombie is still a miss. Okay. So this zombie here is going to try to attack Soma with a strike, first of all. And misses. So it's going to try to strike again. Just flailing wildly at you, trying to grab a hold of you, but missing time after time again. Okay. The next guard, the final guard, I guess, that's still left. Moves one, and then another one, and attacks this gambler over here.
Wait, that's Mr. Kelton. Don't hit his face. He hates it.
What?
Huh? Never mind. Sorry.
Okay. And hits for 6 points of damage. Oops, I accidentally hit the guard. No, it's the zombie. Soma, your turn.
I run away.
Yeah, good call.
Wait.
I think if you're encumbered, your speed is probably reduced.
Yeah.
I use both my actions.
You're clumsy one and you have a 10-foot speed penalty. I'm sorry to point that out as you're saving me.
Well,
And you
then
should be able to give yourself the condition, and you should tell you.
yeah, then I use all my actions to drag the gate. And that would be it then.
Okay, so again, you should be able to give yourself the condition so that it can keep track of all of the limitations that come with being encumbered. All right, the skeleton down here steps up and tries to strike this guard. Action number 2 misses, and action number 3 is another miss. The zombie shambler over here is going to attack this guard with a fist to his face. Yep, striking him for 9 points. And then taking a second action to grab him.
At 18 points. The crit.
Oh, that should be 18, you're right. I just hit the regular damage. Okay, so yeah, brutal hit, and it's already at his throat. Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to... I guess he'll swing at the skeleton that's closest to him.
Mm-hmm. That's this one. Yeah, that's a hit, and you bring it down.
And then he is going to step over here and target the zombie.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hit. And you heard it. Is that your turn?
That's the turn, yeah.
Okay, so then this guard over here steps up towards the zombie and swings at it. And ooh, she lands a critical hit for 14. I think she deserves a promotion. Kills the zombie in one swing, and then Arthur sees the guard next to him being attacked by the zombie. The zombie already like going towards his throat. And sees that the guard is already in very bad shape. So what he does is he takes out his healer's tools and uses battle medicine to treat wounds on the guard. So where's the treat wounds? Here it is. Treat wounds, come on. Does not, oh right, so I have to select him and roll, and it's a success. And we heal, or the The guard heals 6 points, but is now immune against that. But maybe that'll give him a fighting chance. So that was 2 actions. Take out the tools, apply them, and I'm gonna say that he needs to pick up his crossbow again because he certainly can't do that with a crossbow in his hands. So he dropped it at some point. Lucca is still unconscious. The skeleton down here, who's the closest one? Let's let fate decide. Right, the guard is getting it. Where's my skeleton? There it is. So 1 action to move up to him, the 2nd action to strike once, 3rd action to strike again, and manages to hit, if just barely, and causes 3 points of damage to the valiant guard. We have another guard down here. It's very confusing that those skulls don't disappear. I'm just gonna make a pile of bodies over there. Okay, so this guard's turn comes up. He targets this zombie and swings his club. Misses. Swings again. Misses. And swings one last time. Crit miss. Okay. We have another guard. Right, that's the one that's currently grabbed by the zombie. So to escape it, grip. You're held in place by another giving you this, so it needs to try and escape. What was escape again? That's an unarmed attack or a athletics or acrobatics. Let's see what he has. He has athletics. So he's gonna try to get out. Fails. Gonna try again with a -2. Oh, that's 16. That looks like it might actually be a success. Escape is against DC of the effect, but what's the athletics DC of the creature grabbing you? And these guys are not very athletic. So yeah, so he manages to break the grab with his 2nd action, which means he has 1 last action left to actually swing back at the zombie with a -10 because of the multiple attack penalties. We then have 1 more guard up here who moves in, targeting the zombie, and swings once, hits, strikes, oops, hits himself, hits the zombie, and kills it. And that's it for this guard. And then it's Souma's turn.
Well, at this point I think I might as well do something else. I will put Lucca on the ground and I will have to draw my flute before I actually can cast spells. Well, shit, I can't do anything at this turn either then.
That's it?
No, I think in that case I will not draw anything. No, wait, dropping is free action, so I don't need to do it. I'm still recovering, so my brain is sleepy. Yeah, I draw my flute and I cast the Inspire Courage, so it's 1 action to draw, or 2 actions to cast, so everyone now is inspired with their own heroics, because, well, they have ability to overcome great fear in spite of in face of the Walking Dead, and etc. etc. Congratulations, you are now players of the dead and keepers of the graveyard. Oof.
Very inspiring. Ottardo.
Just as a quick note for battle medicine, if you are wearing the tools, you only need 1 free hand to use them.
Okay, great.
So Ottardo is going to stride and target the only remaining skeleton, I think.
Nice. You strike and you hit and you bring it down. Okay, so you bring down the last skeleton. I'm gonna end this encounter here. but don't get too cocky. Because you bring down the last skeleton, you look around to see if there's any more undead peeling themselves out from or digging themselves up from the ground, breaking out of the sarcophagi or mausoleums. None of that happens. Artua rushes over to provide some first aid to Lucca, which I think works, right? First aid would work.
Yeah,
on Lucca?
treat wounds works.
Okay.
So just can't have the positive trait.
Right.
Are you sure it worked? Don't you need that one specific feat?
Okay, let's take a look. Trade wounds actions. Exploration, healing, manipulate skill. Doesn't have the positive trait. So.
I thought there was a feat like Sue Flesh or something like that that was specifically for being able to use medicine on undead.
Oh yeah, but look at this, it doesn't have flesh.
Yeah, and I think...
yeah, therefore it doesn't... No. I don't know, it says in the basic undead benefits, I'll post it.
Yeah, I see it here. Negative healing. You're damaged by positive and aren't healed by positive healing. You don't take negative damage and are healed by negative effects that heal undead.
I was assuming that meant it needs to have both the positive and the healing traits, but maybe... Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what Sam just put up. Where did you just post that, Sam? Panel?
The Braving the Vaults.
Stitch Flesh. Let's see.
Yeah, but that feels like it's geared towards actually NPC undead, you know? Oh, but it is in the same book, Book of the Dead.
I mean, I do have, I have the basic undead things, which is the same that I think the zombies and the skeletons have, so... I guess so. I was under the impression that that it could have the healing trait, it just couldn't have the positive trait, and it would be okay, but if that's exclusive, certainly seems to be.
Let me see. So administering first aid. Oh no, that's not first aid. It's treat wounds.
It's treat wounds.
Okay, so there we have it. Treat wounds, negative healing, and stitch flesh is on the forms. For characters that only have negative healing but are otherwise still living, such as Dampier or Revenant, you still use treat wounds on them. Stitch flesh is only needed for characters that are fully undead, like skeleton ancestry or vampire archetype. That is my understanding as well. Just realized that we have always been able to use battle medicine on undead. Battle medicine has the healing trait. I thought it was positive.
If being undead is exclusive of anything with the healing trait, that's really bad for me, because that also means Soothe has no effect, so...
Yeah. Man, if that feat wouldn't exist, I would say immediately, like, no, it's supposed to work differently from NPC undeads to make PC undeads playable. But the fact that they have
Yeah, ironically, by releasing the Book of the Dead source book, they seem to have made it more difficult. Yeah, I wouldn't have even thought that was an issue if it wasn't for this feat.
Oh, but you said you have the regular undead traits too?
I have the basic undead benefits. That's what I have,
Okay, do
which
you also
includes that negative healing description.
okay? Do you also have undead traits as a PC?
Yeah, there. It's the feature is called basic undead benefits.
Because if that's all you have, then because the thing that healing effects don't work on you, that's part of the undead traits. And if nothing here says
The skeleton ancestry has the undead trait.
Yeah, it does have the undead. I am undead, definitely.
oh, I see up here. There it is. And then no, but that's the yeah, there it is. Undead creatures are damaged by positive, healed by negative, and don't benefit from healing effects. Yep.
Oh, so it says that Soothe works.
Yep. But I'm out of suits.
Okay, but maybe then Archer's still gonna try it and is learning something about Lucca in that moment. So you see Arthur, rush over to Lucca, and like try to rip open his cloak or whatever, trying to get to whatever wounds he has suffered, and then you just see him freeze.
Oh my god, they killed him!
How is he not dead? My god, they ripped all the flesh off of his bones.
Yes! Holy crap, those undead work fast!
Yeah.
I have an image assignment for what's under the mask.
Yes, please.
I don't know how to. I'll just put it in Discord for now because I don't know how to.
Yeah, sounds
I
good.
don't know if I can put it directly into the game, but here, let me just upload it. I mean, there's no big surprises here, but
Nice. Oh. Yeah, except that the light is probably currently out.
there's no light in the eye sockets.
Wow. So Arthur just takes the mask off and tries to, thinking that he would provide first aid, but instead he just says, "What in the?" And then he like as the guards come close, trying to figure out if they can help, he quickly puts the mask back on and he says, "No, it's okay. It's okay. He's fine. He's fine. We'll deal with it later."
What do you mean? No way, he's not fine! Look at him! He's a bully!
Shut up! They would destroy him on the spot if they saw him like this. The same moment, Birke comes running up the path. Chugga 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 chugga. And I'm just gonna hand Birke to you, Anthony. Because as Arthur is like yelling at Souma, like, shh, at the same time getting out his tools to help her wounds if she lets him. And he whispers to her, "This is not the time to deal with a couple of frightened guards that have just fought a bunch of undead to explain to them that our friend happens to have a skeleton head." Of course I fail on this one. I'm gonna take his hero point. Reroll, keep the rule. And of course that's even worse. Alright, so yeah, he's just too upset by his discovery to meaningfully help Souma. There is of course the wand on Lucca. Can anyone deal with that?
I think no, wait, I don't think I can.
Yeah, I think Lucca was the only one with the spell on the list.
That's why he had it. He reluctantly took it.
Really? Is there any way to emulate it?
Well, I guess full night's rest and light breakfast. Have to do the job.
Lucca he has the wand. He also has a couple of scrolls, which he probably only is capable of casting.
Yep. Okay, because the thing is that everything becomes a certain urgency as the light flares up again, bathing this part of, this time much more focused, just the part where you're standing, basically all the way from the gates to Ottardo, just bathing this in this pale, ghostly light, and you feel like there's a change of the quality in the air. It makes your hair stand on edge. Nothing happens right away. You like, you look towards the dead bodies on the ground or the destroyed undead on the ground. There's no movement there. Nothing seems to happen. But there's this like, almost feels like there's a headache starting to form in your skull, as if your head is being put into a vice, as if there's a big pressure on you. And you just get the sense like something is about to happen. So I'm gonna give everyone a round of actions. Artur just gonna go ahead and put his tools away, reloads his crossbow, and just kind of gets ready for whatever. It's like, this is not over yet.
Well, with shaky hands, Souma will once again take up her flute and start trying to counter the eerie feeling with another round of Inspire Courage, and this time I will use the Lingering Performance too.
Alright.
Ottardo can walk over to where Souma is and lay hands on her.
Okay.
He can't move because of the post. Basically, she can get back 6 hit points.
Alright. Yeah, you can move yourself, and we'll remember the... actually, I can just add an encounter here. So let's put everyone except... all these guys into the encounter. Alright. So... Souma did her thing. That was Souma, so she's gonna move up here. Then Artur did his thing. Ottardo did his thing. The guards just kind of spread out, trying to get to the edge of the light that is shining onto the ground here, looking at each other, grasping their clubs. Just, you see the fear rising in their faces again as they're like, what's next? What's coming now? This is not over? Birke, Anthony.
She's just kind of, she's hobbling her way up the path as quickly as she can, maybe leaning a little on the butt of her glaive as she comes, and she says, "Sorry I'm late to the party. Hope I didn't miss anything." And she's going to spin that glaive around into an offensive position. And can she move up?
Yeah.
A little?
Sure.
She'll get to the front line. Oh, did she get healed? I missed that.
Yes, she did. I just healed her. But she had time to recover, essentially, so she's at full hit points.
Okay.
Okay, so that gave everyone a turn. What happens next is that in the center of this cone of light that you can trace back, that arcs all the way from the Gauntlight, in the center of it, in front of you, there's this shape that starts to coagulate into existence. And at first it's just this kind of like semi-transparent shadow, and then it starts to flicker, and it looks almost spider-like at first. You see various appendages and legs, and then all of a sudden it's just there. And this feeling of a headache, your head's being put into a vice, that pressure that you sense is gone, whisks out, but the thing is here now. That's what it looks like.
Ooh.
And
That doesn't look like a ghost.
It doesn't look like a ghost for sure. And it physically interacts with the ground in front of it. You can see that. So let me put it into the encounter here. And we will start from the top. So Arthur says not much, and he's just gonna try to shoot at it. So I'm gonna roll my d20.
You are also inspired.
So a 10, right? That's yeah. If we should, where's the inspire courage effect from before? There it is. And Birke should be inspired too. Hang on. And so should all the cards. Where's the last card? Okay, so I rolled a 10. That's then with all the modifiers would be an 18, which is not enough to hit. So in this case, Arthur is going to. Yeah, it's just he doesn't really have anything to do when that misses. So he's just gonna have to take the hit, shoot.
He could try to identify whatever it is.
Right, he could try to recall knowledge. That's a good point. So I'm going to. Let's see what he would be best at. No, there's only one way to do it. Nice. Okay, a little gasp escapes his throat, and he yells, "A Skelestrax!" And he says, "Those things are from deep within the Darklands? How would it just all of a sudden appear here like this? That abominable light." Okay, let me see if there's anything meaningful. Okay. And he yells, kill it with fire, ideally, and watch out for the quills on its legs. It can shoot him. Get in close and kill it. So that was action 2, and then action 3 is, I guess, moving into a different position here. Okay. Souma.
Okay, well, I guess I will try to. Now, since my Inspired Courage will last for 3 rounds, I will just cast a telekinetic projectile. With one of my beads marbles will be bludgeoning. Oh.
And misses.
Oh well. And as my final action, I will draw my bow.
Okay, Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield. He is not happy about it, but he will step up to the creature and try to bash it.
Oof. Incredible.
Oh.
And then he is going to step back.
Okay.
No. He was step. Oh no. Yeah, he can't. No. It was raise shield, step and strike. That's 3. Yep.
Okay. Then now Molten Guards come in charging. And try to club the creature, the Skelestrax. Hit. 7 points of damage. And follow up with a second swing of the club. Missing. Birke.
Birke's not going to miss the opportunity to get into a flank. For some reason, it's still registering her previous movement, but
Because it's technically this round, I think.
Yeah.
That's 25.
Going to move up here And as she is quickly maneuvering around it, she goes, "Oh, a Skelefax, eh?" And she's going to use her hunt prey action to designate this thing as her prey.
Mhm.
And as part of that, she also gets to make a recall knowledge check of her own.
Right, that would be occultism or lore. If she has, for example, Darkland's lore,
She has library lore.
that is not applying here.
Occultism. Well, she's trained.
Okay,
Let's see what she's got.
nice.
Yeah.
That's enough. Yeah, it's a success. Escalathrax, yeah, she knows. She has heard of those things, and she knows. She didn't know that they could shoot quills from their legs. She had only heard that those things actually spit venom, poison.
Okay, and technically that is a 24 on her hunt prey.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
Okay.
on her recall knowledge, because she gets a +2 against the target of her hunt prey.
Yeah, still a regular success though. Yeah.
Still a regular success. Okay, she gets some other weird. Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm still figuring her out. She gets another thing when she succeeds.
I think this is the first time that it actually succeeds, and it's not out.
When you critically succeed, okay, is there anything when you just succeed? No. So that's it. She's just succeeded. So so shoots quills and it's poisonous. Is that what I heard?
Spits poison. Yeah.
Poison. Okay. Well, all that's not gonna help too much. She goes, "Huh? You learn something new every day." And she's going to try to stab it, I suppose, with her final action. Now that she's in flanking position. And she's gonna miss.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna hero point that. Because I'd like to do something this combat.
All right. There you go.
Go. For a whole 6 points of damage. It's a 1 on the damage die.
Could be worse. Okay, so I'm just gonna move the skeletons into a pile so that we don't have these annoying skulls everywhere. Okay, the Skeletrax, slightly disoriented by its sudden appearance, just kind of like pivots around, getting its bearings. I'm gonna say that's an action that it does, and then it moves. Well, actually, it just lashes out at one of the 3 people around it once. Or the Otari guard is the lucky one. Well, look at you. So it just tries to snap at the guard real quick. And succeeds. Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Ottardo is going to intervene here too. Same thing, he's going to grant the guard resistance 3. And he'll take the opportunity to attempt to bash the Skeletrax and miss.
God. Okay, so the guard took all that damage, also needs to make a fortitude save. And fails, which means it is clumsy. Like you can see the venom dripping from the creature's jaws. And then the Skeletrax moves. 1, 2, 3, moves all the way over here.
Does it have?
That's
that last action?
That's its third action, yeah.
Okay.
But the guards actually have attacks of opportunity, so this guard is going to use her reaction to swing her club at the Skeletrax. Swing the club. Ooh, look at that. Ooh.
This guard.
This
Wow.
guard is really just killing it.
I guess Inspire Courage worked for something.
You can hear the creature's like carapace crack under the swing of the club that, through sheer luck, finds a really good spot to connect. I don't think it provokes from anyone else because nobody else has attacks of opportunity, and then it's just happy where it is right now. The guard from all the way up here goes, whoa, moves in here 2 actions, and then strikes once and misses. That's what we would expect of the guards. And then we have a guard down there who's moving in with 1 action. Actually, they remember their training to flank, and then strikes once and twice and misses both times. Oh, I guess it didn't take into account the flanking though. So the first one would have hit. So that's 11 points of damage. And we have 1 more guard who's just gonna come running in. 1 action. Second action is strike 1 and hits for 10 points. And strike 2 misses. And Arthur moves into a position where he has a better shot, and then rolls.
Remember Inspire Courage?
Yes. Won't be necessary, so he hits. And that's a stratagem thing. Oh, right, so now I don't have stupid ammo anymore because that's how that works. Where's my bolts? Okay. Bolts, strike. Yeah, that's actually a hit because of the stratagem, and that's 11 points of damage, and he strikes it and hits an eye, which drills the bolt deep into the creature's nervous system, and it just goes and collapses onto the ground. It doesn't disappear, just is where it is. It's not like it was summoned or anything. It just kind of collapses onto the cemetery. The guards all like in panic, just look around, look over towards where the Gauntlight is, waiting for the light to show up again. Everybody is breathing heavily for a few rounds, waiting for another blast of light, but nothing happens. And finally, the sounds of the night take over from the sounds of the fighting. Phew!
Yeah, that was tense.
That was intense. All right, let me give you guys XP. So let's see. I have these, and this, and this. It's a lot of them. 3, 6, 8, and 9. Okay.
Souma will try to calm down and reassure the guards, saying that, like, thank you, my friends. Without your brave help, we all would have died here today. And Wendy down in the library would have to deal with a whole lot of them. Oh shit! What's happened there? We totally forgot about them.
Yeah. Before you run off, that was 350 XP.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean that was a lot of fighting. So at least for Ottardo, that brings him over.
350, I think, brings us all up a
No,
level.
not well, not quite, because Birke and Lucca haven't been there for every session, so they're straggling a little bit behind.
Oh, it's not applied as a group.
No, everybody gets their own.
Oh, okay.
Ah shit.
Well, Ottardo has just enough to level up.
I believe I am. So am I, but I misclicked. So I forgot how much XP I had. It was over 650.
You know what?
For Ottardo, it was 652 exactly.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
think we
I
should.
will put it.
I never really liked having different XPs for different.
Yeah.
Right? It's just going to be a pain in the butt to keep track of. So let's just put everyone at 1,002, and we'll deal with that. Okay, so on the sheet, there's nothing that says to level up, right? It's not.
Doesn't seem like
You
that.
It's
just change the level to 2, I think.
yeah.
Right, but it doesn't have any validation whatsoever. So
For the calculate, it changed max HP, changed AC attacks, it changed skills. I think it's okay. Yeah. You'll have
And
to
it gives
deduct.
you an extra. It gives you the slots where you're supposed to have them
Yeah,
in for
yeah.
like new feats and stuff.
Yeah.
oh, okay, I see.
I think the only thing it doesn't help you with is the spells.
Mm-hmm. I see. I have an empty class feed slot. So class feeds browse. Okay, I see.
Class feats.
I have already forgot what I wanted to pick in my second level, so I will have to remember it later. Yes. I believe it was Inspire Competence.
It's a lot of dedications that are available on level 2.
Yep.
Yeah, because you can pick up all those dedications. I don't even think I planned this character out to level 2. I think I assumed they'd be dead by now, which they very nearly were. Time to pick up Gunslinger.
Really?
No, not really. That's my other skeleton gunslinger. Alright. What do I have to choose from if I get past all of these dedications? Sorcerer. Oh, I have to get rid of the archetype ones. There we go.
Okay, so I guess now whoever rolls our medicine checks will not fail, hopefully.
I think Artur is gonna take the sniping duo dedication. So when you take this dedication, choose one willing non-minion ally to act as your spotter. That would be Ottardo. And as part of your training in this archetype, you train your spotter in the necessary habits and techniques to use your abilities automatically. Your spotter doesn't need to spend any feats of their own to grant the effects. You only gain the benefits of your sniping duo archetype feats if both you and your spotter are alive and conscious. You and your spotter don't grant your foes lesser cover against one another's strikes. Whenever you or your spotter successfully strikes a target, the other member of your duo gains a +1 circumstance bonus per weapon damage die on the damage roll of their next strike made against that target before the end of their next turn.
It's circumstance. Okay, let me check something.
That sounds good. And a skill feat.
Okay, no, that's fine. Because I was grabbing something that would eventually grant a status bonus to damage, so that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I've been forgetting something on this character.
Which
I
is
felt like I was missing something. I have a slight bonus to damage, which I should be accounting for whenever I use produce flame, which is all the time. So
Uh,
should
well,
I
it's
take
per spell level. So does that apply to cantrips? I guess not.
heightened cantrips, but not level 0?
Yeah, true.
Should I take continual like recovery for Atua, which
Yes.
brings down the
Maybe you should take Stitch Flesh now.
Stitch Flesh. That's a great idea. What kind of feat is that?
I think it's a medicine skill feat.
Yes, it is.
Oh, but why is it showing up here? Does it
You
have
have to be trained in medicine. It is a general skill feat.
That's
Yeah.
fine, I think. He is trained in medicine. Is it a higher level? Oh, it's level 1. I was just calling.
It's the first level feat, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take that, of course.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, definitely going to do that. No question about that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get a lot, but that's because I get spells, so I need to figure that out. Class feat. Let's see.
Oh, did you get an aura, Sam, for Ottardo?
Yes,
And
yes.
it automatically applies?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Oh, that is damn cool.
I didn't expect it to happen, but yeah.
Your aura has the emotion, mental, and visual traits and grants you and allies within the aura +1 status bonus to saving throw against fear. Well, that's timely.
Thematic.
Yep.
He learned something.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just going to roll a couple of dice here. Never mind me.
Since we're standing in the aftermath of the battle, I guess for the next 10 minutes he'll lay hands on the guard that is near death, which is also the one that did a lot of the heavy lifting.
All right, yeah. The heroic guard that should definitely deserve a name.
Mm-hmm.
Six points. Nice. Taking those.
Yep. I understood what skill feat I have to take.
Yeah, you can think about it some more because I think I'm gonna call it a session here. So as you all realize, like, no, this is now really the end of it, at least for now. The guards dust themselves off. They check on each other, and they shake, pat on shoulders, shake each other's hand, and they're turning towards you, and they said, like, thank you so much for all of your help. You definitely, you did not have to do that. That was very heroic. We did a good job here today. All of us, I think we've done a great job protecting the town. We will make sure that the people in town will know of what great service you've done here today. And are you sure your friend is going to be okay? And Ottardo looks over and says, "Oh yeah, never mind. I have everything I need right here." And then they kind of, after repeatedly patting your shoulders and commanding you some more, they eventually start walking down Pharasma's way as the sun in the east is slowly showing its first few rays. And that's it for today.